Okay, so you're welcome to this today's session, and today's session we are looking at two sections. Okay, so today's section is all about what? File handling. Okay, guys, and in file handling we'll be looking at file operation, and also we're looking at what we call file path. But today we are looking at file operation. We are going to look at how we can read, write, and do certain kind of what operations when we create our own file, or when we have a certain file that we should be able to read, and we should be able to write and do certain kind of little operations on it. So today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you guys through how you can read and write files, and then we should be good with the help of Python, because we are still mastering Python. So you guys will be good. All right. Yes, I'm using VS Code. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create a file. So let's say we go to new file, and then what would we do? Let's give it a name. Let's say file operation. Okay. .ipynb. The reason why I always use ipynb is I want to have a notebook where I can do so many things in. I don't want to be creating Python scripts. That's why I always tell you guys, if you want better experiments, you use notebook, and when you are done, you can write your main logic or your main project codes using Python scripts. Get the difference? Okay. Now I'll select my kernel, Python environment, first one, which is okay. Now all that I'm going to do is I'm saying that we are going to deal with what? Let me make it the size small so it doesn't become big. So we are looking at file operation, okay? And in file operation, we are looking at read and sorry, I think I took something. So in file operation, we are looking at read and write, okay? Read and write files, okay? And now I'm saying that file handling, okay? So file handling, okay, is one of the crucial, like it's really crucial. So file handling is crucial part, okay, of any programming language. And you guys know, if you have a background from Java, C++, or any background, you guys understand that file handling is one of the crucial parts in any programming, whether you are dealing with JavaScript, C++, PHP, anything, all of these Java and all that, you need file handling. Okay, so in terms of file handling, we are saying that it's one of the crucial part when it comes to any programming language. And currently our programming language is what? Python. So we need to also understand how we can handle file and their path and all that using Python codes and scripts. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, that it's one of the crucial part of any programming language. And Python Python provides built-in, okay, let me bring the hyphen, built-in functions. So Python provides built-in functions and methods. Now we know all this, right? You can see in our previous sessions we've been using built-in functions and built-in methods. So Python provides what? Built-in functions and methods, okay? And with these built-in functions and methods, we can read from and write to a file. Can read from and write to file. Okay, so we are saying that we can read from. So you see, Python provides built-in functions and methods to read from and write to file. So we read from something and then we write to something. Get a logic? So that's the whole point. Okay, now and write to file. So that file could be a text. Okay, so that file could be a text. So let me do the sentence well. Python provides built-in functions and methods to read from and write to file. Okay, so the file could be both text, okay, text and binary. Okay, so you can have binary file, you can have text file, and these text files can have any extension. You can still have that .txt, and you can still have CSV, like so many things, CSV, docs, PDF, and all that. You understand? Thank you so much, Ako. Thank you so much for the likes and all that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So you get to understand that file operation is all about read and write. And in reading and writing, we can handle so many file extensions like a txt, csv, .bin, .pdf, what else? What else? So you can name it, the docs and all that. Okay. So today, basically, we are going to look at this. So we are going to look at how we can work with these things. Okay, file operation, read and write. So let's give an example so you guys understand everything. Let's go with code. Let's go and code. So now, what I'm going to do is let's try and read, okay, a whole file. Okay, let's try and read a whole file. So if you want to read a whole file, basically we use a with open inbuilt function. So you will say with open, and this is the inbuilt function. You remember yesterday we learned this, right? So with open inbuilt function, now we need to create a file, right? And let's say the file is going to be, we are going to have the extension to be .txt. Okay. So now what I'll do, okay, today my annotations, my pop-ups have come, so that's good. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create a file. So what should be the file name? Yes, at the comment section, what should be the file name? We'll add it .txt. At the comment section, what should be the file name? What should be the file name? Okay, no one is typing. So let's give it a file. Oh, you cannot say the file name is also the file. No, I don't want to use test also. So let's give it a good name. Or if you don't have any name, let's say example. Example.txt. Okay. So this is our example.txt. And now what do we do? Our next thing is what? So who can tell me what will be inside this what do we call it? Quotation mark. What will be here? So first I did this, okay, and now I come here, I put this. So what do you think will be inside this quotation mark? Path. No, please, Bettina, it will be path. Sorry. Yes, who else? What do you think will be the what I'll type? R. Same. Okay, Same, you are correct. So we are reading, guys. Take note. That's why I comment for you guys to understand. We are reading a whole file, so we will use the read R. Okay, so Same, you are correct. If we are writing, we will just use W. Okay, so take note, guys. Now we are reading, so R. Okay, now this whole thing we want to set this as an object, and that is why basically I usually use as file like this. Okay, so as file simply means I'm making this as an object. I'm taking this as an object so that I can use it anyway. So don't worry about objects, okay? Object oriented programming. Don't worry, we will get there. Okay, we'll get to where you understand classes and all that. But what I want you guys to understand now is if I set my read file with the help of the open inbuilt function, my next step is I want to set this as an what? Object. That's why I'm using all of this as what? A file. So this file basically is an object for me. Object simply means a variable is even an object. So you can have, let's say, for instance, we can have Dennis, or let me say Same. Can have Same is equal to blah 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 blah. This Same is an object. Okay, when you are dealing with object-oriented programming, all these becomes objects. So we don't call it variables anymore. Okay, but don't worry, guys, don't worry. Remember, you are mastering Python, so we will get there. We'll get to object-oriented programming. But what I want, the concept here is that as far here is our object, okay, as we learned yesterday, and all that I need to do is come here, okay, see the indentation. So we can just use R without writing mode. Yes, please. Yes, I can, because you see the way I'm teaching you guys. Yesterday I used mode is equal to, then I read a quotation, then I said R, right? But today you see I'm not bringing a mode. That is how we learn. You learn to understand what it means, then moving forward you use it in simple way. Okay, that's how I teach. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jemima, for reminding people. That here we could have said mode, okay, we could have said mode is equal to, and still would be correct. But when you are moving forward, because I was building you guys, so this time around I'm not going to put in here mode. I will just remove the mode lines. You understand? So you know the computer will understand that you are trying to read a particular one file, which will be this, right? So let's see something. So now, as far, okay, so what do we do? Let's say now we are going to read it. So who can tell me what will be my next line of code? What will be my next line of code at the comment section? What will be my next line of code? Let's go. I told you it's going to be interactive, even though you guys are not up here. But once I'm done teaching, you guys can request and come and ask any question. But it has to be interactive at the comment section. Yes, what will be my next line of code? So I'm saying that we are reading a whole file, and currently this is the file we are going to read, right? And I'm saying that we've not created, you see, we don't have the file here yet, but we'll get there. And I'm saying that with open and then my first parameter, which is the file I want to read from, and then my second parameter is the mode. So you see, your first parameter is the file you want to read, the name of the file. The second parameter will be what? The mode you want to be working with. So currently our mode is we want to read. Simple. And all of this, I don't want to be repeating this in so many times in my code. So I do what? I set it as an object. The reason why here you need to use as is because you are in this open mode. Using this, for you to set the entire inbuilt function to an object, you have to use as. We cannot say file is equal to this. That is not correct. Okay, so that is why we are using as. So this is the same as you assigning a variable to something. You get the logic? Then at anywhere you can be using file instead of this entire code. That is how programming works. Okay. So comment section. Falongege said for loop. No, we are not using for loop here. Thank you. Sami said file dot read. Yes, Sami, you are correct. So we will say file dot read. You guys should understand all these things. We've learned them. So you know, I'm saying that. So file dot read. So this becomes what? This becomes what? This becomes our package or our module. We just pick it here, file dot read. So this becomes our new variable, which is holding this, which will be holding this entire data in this particular file. So what we need is file dot read. You see? Now, if I come here, so what I can do is that I want to print the entire data inside this specific file, right? So are you getting the flow? I want to print the entire data here. So what will I do? All that I need to do is come here. Let me press enter, sorry. Now, I need to print. But what should I do? Yes, at the comment section. I need to print the entire data inside the file. So what will I do? I'm trying to make it more interactive here today so that you guys understand everything right from the flow. I need to print the entire data inside this particular file. Okay, so what will I do to get all the data here? Now, I'm not creating it. I want you to understand something before I create the file. But now, this is the file we have. It can be CSV, it can be PDF, it can be anything. And we want to read it. Now, in reading it, we are saying that file.read because we set all of this as an object to this. So now this is the file.read because if this is an object, it becomes a module. And now this being a module, you will just use it anywhere. That's why we are saying that file.read. Now with the help of this inbuilt read function, inside we can do so many things, right? But we are not doing now. And I'm saying that, what do you think will be our next thing to do? Our best strategy now to do? At the comment section, data is equal to file.read. Thank you so much for Falongege. This time around, you are correct. You are correct. I said print file.read. No, Ash, no, it's not proper programming. I don't want you to do that. Okay, but you are in a good direction, but twist it a bit for me. Intermediate said read parameters we read. No, intermediate, I don't understand it. Please Rewrite, comment again. For long again, for long again, you said a thing and you are still changing to, okay, you are okay, you are adding more. Okay, print data. You are correct. So for long again has already written the code for me. So what I'm basically going to do is, because I always advise you guys that for long again your code is correct, okay? But how I will do it is that write a code according to what you are doing, okay? So instead of the data you use here for language, I will use content is equal to, you see, because I want to read the whole file, so I want to read the entire content in this, okay, for language. Then when I come below, I will just print what? Content. You see, so it's the same thing. You, instead of content, you use data. Correct, you're 100% correct. Instead of content here, you will use data. You're 100% correct. So all we mean here is that this entire thing is inside this file, and this entire file to read is inside this content. So it means that when we get the file here, we then read and store it in content, and we can print it. So now, if I run this script, okay, if I run this script or this code, I'll be able to read anything in this particular one, example.txt. Okay, so let's see. Right now, if I run, I'll get error because I've not created a file. So let's run and see. You see, I get error. And what's the error? No such file or directory. So we need to create the file, which is what? Example.txt. You see? So sometimes be careful when you are dealing with data analysis, data manipulations, data handling, file handling, and all that. Ensure you are getting the correct file name and all that. Okay? So all that I will do is I'll come here, I'll create a new file, and I'll just say this. Okay, now we need to paste something here. So let me just copy anything huge, or let's start typing. Hi everyone, you are welcome to Darko Lab AI Bootcamp. AI Bootcamp, okay. This bootcamp is for free, okay. So this bootcamp is for free. All you need is your laptop plus your laptop, internet, and your time to join us. Okay, and then you can follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Discord. Okay, see the link in my bio or check my YouTube page, Darko Lab. You see, so I've just written some kind of things just for the experiments, right? Now I'll save it like this, so you can see I've saved it. Now let me come back to the notebook. So now if I run this notebook, I should get this entire one, data or content. You see, so this is called data, but when we are reading it, we are getting the content of this within this one file. Okay, all right. So once I come here, then now I can read. So let's read again. You can use Shift Enter, or you can press on this to run it, to execute it. Okay, so you see, now we have it here. You see, all that I wrote inside this is now being read here. You see, with the help of, I can do anything now with this. The file could be PDF, CSV, anything. I can read entirely. Remember, if it's CSV, remember we write per row. You remember yesterday when we were reading CSVs, we're dealing with rows. Okay, so don't forget. So you see, it's simple, guys. All right, let me see if there's any question. Okay, there's no question. So let's move on. Now that we have this data, our next question is, how can we read line by line? Okay, how can we read line by line? So let's look at how we can read line by line. So now we have this data. So let's say read a file line by line. Okay, so now we are going to read the file line by line, right? And please, let's like the live, let's share for more people to join, else TikTok will say we are inactive. So let's share the live, let's like it. Thank you so much. So what we are going to do is we are going to read a line, what, line by line, sorry, a file line by line. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to say with the same thing, open. So the moment we want to read, we will use this thing, so don't worry. So we open, then inside, because we have a file, let's say example.txt, we already have the file created, so we are good to go. Now command, then we use the read. Okay, then let's set all this as what, a file, so you can get the object, then we can use the object. So here, this time around, you see the difference. The first one we were just assigning and then we print, right? But right now we want to read line by line. So who can tell me how the logic will be, or what logic are we going to use in the comment section? What logic are we going to use now? We are not going to use this same logic here, but what do you think will be the logic here for us to use? Because we want to read a file line by line. So what are we going to do? Yes, guys, what are we going to do? Just a word. I just need a keyword. Like, what will it be? Like, what are we going to do in our next section? Use print in, no. What is our logic? Our logic going to be? Our programming format or anything, how is it going to be programmed? We can use for loop. Correct. That's what I was looking for. We are going to use for loop to do this. Okay, guys? We are going to read a line, a file line by line. So we are going to use for loop. It's as simple as that. And all that we need to do is just say for line. Okay, so this is going to be our temporary one variable. You now know this. I've taught you guys like for loop and all that, so you know this, control statements and all that. So now for line in file, okay, for line in file, what do? We are going to print. So it's very simple. We are saying that with open, this is fixed. Now we understand this. We are going to use for loop to loop and iterate over each line to get line by line. It's as simple as that. That is why you need to understand for loops. Okay? For row, Jemima said for row. Jemima, for row, okay, for row, just use for loop, okay? And then fear not said for loop. Yeah, for fear not, you are correct, 100%. For line in far, yes, for line in far, Lumumba, you are correct, but I wanted a keyword, which is what we are going to use, the logic behind the for line in far. So we are going to use what we call what, for loop. Okay, that's good. You guys are on point. So let's move on. Yeah, so we are reading the far line by line. So we set our for loop for line in far. So you see the concept here. We bring the object here, and this is the line. This is our temporary variable, which is going to hold the entire each line that we read. Okay, and then inside we will just pass what line. Okay, but I'll teach you something. You guys will see something strange. So let's see before I teach you something. So now let's run this. You guys see? You see what has happened? You see, we are supposed to get it like this. So we know that we've read line by line. But you see, there has been some kind of spaces, right? Big spaces. There's a spaces. It jumps every line, we get a space, every line we get it, which is good. This is the reason why this code was set up. But now, let's say you don't need these spaces, right? But you still want to be able to read line by line. And it's as simple as that. All you need is use the inbuilt function we call strip. So when I print on dots like this, I will be able to set for an inbuilt function called what? Strip. Okay, so it's an inbuilt function. It's so many. So you see, this is a strip. You see, so this strip will still bring it back. Okay, so once I click on this strip like this, and then because it's an inbuilt function, always don't forget your open and close bracket. So I just bring it like this. You see, and now this strip is basically, let me comment for you guys. This strip is basically what? The strip. Okay, this strip inbuilt function removes the new line. Okay, it removes the new line character. Okay, So this strip basically removes the new line character for us. You see? So it's very simple. So once I run again, I should bring it back, get it right. So now your code will be proper. See the difference? Okay. Now let's look at another thing. We did this, we did that. Okay, let's look at another scenario. We have a code here. Let's look at where we can we want to write a file. This is very important. Now we are done with the reading. So let's look at writing a file. Okay. So let's look at writing a file. Now the same thing. Let me just go and copy. I don't want to waste time here. I'll copy this one here. Copy this one here. Paste. Right. So I just copied, and instead of R, I'll just make it right. Okay. And it's the same as file. Now we are going to what? Write a file. Okay. And in writing, we know how when we say writing, we understand, right? Okay. Now in writing, let's see how we can write it. So we are going to use the object file dot. So what are we trying to get? We are trying to get the inbuilt function called write. So today I'm glad our pop-up is working. So write, this is an inbuilt function we are going to use, you see. So file.write, and writing, what are we writing? We can write anything. We want to add another thing here. Okay, so let's say what should we write? So let's say watch my YouTube, okay, videos. Okay, watch my YouTube videos. Let's add another one. So I'll just say new line. Okay, so new line, and then I'll come back here, and then I'll just say file dot. Now you know the dot write into bracket. Then I'll say another one. It has all the training sessions. Okay, it has all the training sessions. Okay, then now let me put a full stop. Okay, so now you see we are writing a file. It's very simple. Now let's check something, guys. Let's check something. Let me just make a copy of this. So let me just make a copy of this and paste it here. But still we are using the I don't want to be typing again. Okay, now let's check something. I'm going to write this file. Okay, this file I'm going to write to add this, but let's see what will happen. Okay, I'll show you something. All right, now let's go to this particular file. You see what happened? You see, but previously it was this entire, but you see the entire data has been written off. You see, the entire data has been written off. But to this level, what I just wrote right now, watch my YouTube videos, it has all the training sessions, is here. You see, but we don't want it this way. This is a major problem. Okay, so what we do is we use something we call append. Instead of write, we usually use append, so we don't clear the data. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to work with the copy. So example, let me rename this. Okay, so this one underscore copy. Okay, then when I come here, I'm going to say that example underscore copy. Okay, .txt. Now what I'm going to do is, so I don't write this copy also off like how this one was done. What I'm going to do basically here is to just use the keyword, which is what append. So I don't want to waste time. I'll copy this again, copy this. Okay, and then I'll do this. Okay, then I'll come here, a new one. I'll do something like this, and I'll say that write a file. Okay, the same thing, write a file, but this time around is without what? Overwriting. Okay, we are not going to overwrite, but this one was what? Overwriting it, right? Overwriting it. Okay, but this time around we are not without overwriting. So here I'll paste this, then I'll change only the W, this one, only the W to A, which is append. So this is a new thing I'm teaching you guys. If you use the W, right, It's going to write the entire data off, and you guys saw it here, right? But now we are going to look at a different one, which we should use A. Now we are going to write using A here, okay? All right. Now, if I run this, these two will be added to this. So it's not going to write it off, okay? Now let me change this. I think this is okay. Okay, this is okay. Now let's run this. Okay, so now let's go to the copy. So you see, watch my YouTube videos. It has all the training sessions. You see, it has been added to the already existing data that we have. This is the key thing, significant thing, guys. Take notes. If you are writing a particular file, make sure you are using the right mode. So I can basically say mode is equal to this, and here mode is equal to this. So if this is the W.A, they are modes. So take note of that, okay? They are modes. So take note of that. Okay, but this is how we write it properly. In a best practice, make it like this. Don't bring the mode again. But if you bring it, there's no problem. Okay? I always promote codes to the production. You don't promote codes to the normal system. We promote it to production. So always try to write production grade code. That is the best practice. All right. Now, you see, guys, how we've been able to write and overwrite and all that. Okay. Now, let's look at something. You saw that we were having this one, okay? So now let's look at another concept where we can also write line by line, like how we did this, how we read a file line by line, okay? So let's look at how we can also write a file, sorry, write a file, let me make it like this so it becomes simple. Writing a list, okay? A list of writing a list of lines, yeah. Writing a list of lines to a file, okay? So let's do that so that you guys get it clear. So writing a list of lines to a file basically means that we are going to set some kind of list of data, and then based on the data, we are going to make sure that, okay, we are going to write a file with that specific data to that particular file. That's the whole point. So all that I need to do is that I'm going to say what? Let's set our list first. So I will say lines is equal to, so what will be the list? So inside my list, let's make, it's not, since we are dealing with strings, so let's set it as a string. So I'll come inside and I'll say I will say Sami is here, okay? So this is my first list, and then instead of me going, I'll put a new line, I'll go to the new line, okay? And then comma, I'll bring in double quotation or single quotation is fine. Who else is here? Intermediate is here. Intermediate is here, okay? I'll go to the next line, okay? And then comma. Then who else is here? Who else is here? Fear not is here. So fear not is here. Hey, sorry. Fear not is here. All right. So let's make it 3. That's fine. Okay. Then we go to the next line. You see? So now I've set my list of data. So this is the data I want to append, or I want to write to what? To this particular data. It could be this or it could be this. So anyone you guys think we should choose. All right. So now if I come here, all that I need to do is the same thing with open into bracket. I bring my what? The file. So what's the file name are we going to use? Example. Should we use the copy or the txt? Yes, in the comment section. Should we use copy or txt? Should we use copy or txt? Should we use copy or txt? At the comment section, please. At the comment section, please copy. Okay. So I just put on copy like this. Now, I'll just come to my comma outside like this. Comma. You see, I need another parameter. And what do you think the parameter will be, guys, at the comment section? What do you think will be the next parameter that I need to make my argument? I need to complete my argument in the open inbuilt function. So what will be my next parameter? What will be my next parameter? Yes, type it in the comment section for me. What will be my next parameter? A. Correct. Oh, $view. No, not right. Okay. When you use the W, you are going to overwrite the entire. Antoinette, when you use the W, you are going to write the entire data off and keep only Sami is here, intermediate is here, and then fear not is here. So fear not. I didn't bring the not. Sorry. So fear not is here. When you use the W, you are going to when you do it like this. Okay, I show you here. Remember, I showed you in this file. It's going to override. That's why you saw that it override this entire thing, and then we saw this. So it write it off and then keep what we are bringing in. But we don't want to do that, and that will not help you with your data. Okay, when you have a data set, that will not help you. So those that wrote WW, please always use what? A. Okay, so we are going to use A. Okay, so we can append. Okay, now what do you think will be the next code? At the comment section, the next code. The next line, what should I write next? Okay, Antoinette. So what should I write next? What should be my next? As far. Good, Josh, you are correct. As far. So now the file becomes our object. Sorry. The file becomes our object. So this is our object. We can use it anywhere. Okay? We can use it anywhere. So all that I need to do is what? Just come here. And then what will I do? Yes, my next line of code. Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys, at the comment section. Yes, my next line of code. I need a complete line of code. But we are writing a list of lines to a file. So what will be my next line of code? Yes, at the comment section, guys. Let's go. Let's go at the comment section. So I know I'm not the only one here watching. Yes, what will be the next line of code? Yes, at the comment section. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. File.append. No, Rogers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. File.write lines. You are in the right direction, but you miss one thing. There's one particular inbuilt function we are going to use. So you guys are all okay. File.write into bracket lines. File.write. But listen. So let me first use what you guys wrote. File.write. Sorry. Write into bracket. Then we say what? Lines. Okay, good. Now, if I do something like this, okay, let me change here. What is it? If I do something like, let me change here. Let me not use the copy. So I want to test something for you guys to see. If I do something and I run this, okay, you see, I'm getting error here because I have a list, okay, and I want to write a list of lines to a file. So you see, write argument must be string, not list. Okay, write argument must be what? String, not list. So you see, because here is all about strings. In my list, I created the lines. So instead of you not having a problem with this, which is a good thing you guys did, which you wrote file.write into brackets, which tells me that you guys understand what I'm teaching you. But the only point I want to bring in now for you guys to understand is, right? This particular write inbuilt function must be what? String, not list. You get a concept here? So all that we need to do is there is another inbuilt function in Python for us, which has made our work simple, which I think someone has even wrote it there, write lines. Perfect. So instead of here, I'll just put lines here. And we are good. You see, it's an inbuilt function. And we are good to go. Okay? But now let me change this one back to what? Underscore copy. So we can use the copy. Okay? Now this is the copy data. This is the copy data. Now we are going to write this to 3 data to this copy data. Okay? So let me run. Okay. So now let's print. You see? Sami is here. Intermediate is here. Intermediate is here. Fear not is here. The reason why you are seeing Sami is here, part of this is because, you know, we are treating it as a different data, as a different code section. If I have the entire code section, then we will bring the new line, and then what? It will move Sami will move to what? The new line. Okay, so don't worry about that. The key concept is you understand how the flow is and you understand how you can use your new line. Okay, all right, guys. So you see how it is. So that is why yesterday I told you guys try to explore more on the inbuilt what functions. Okay, all right. Why not string? Why not string? Okay, so it's not this is a string. You know the lines. This is a variable. Okay, this is the object. Inside this line or variable, we are storing a particular data there, and that data is a string. Okay, and we are saying that when we run it like this, okay, when we run it like this, write inbuilt function, they've done in the way that see, it's a method which is it's a function already, okay, def write, and inside it accepts what? String. It doesn't accept anything. See, writing string s to stream. So if you go and say this is a string, okay, and we are not, so you say that argument must be string, not list, and already this is our list. You see, but for us to be able to convert and do so many things, we don't need to write all these programming logics. It has already been done for us with the help of what? The inbuilt function called lines, write lines. So once we run, we should be good. Now I think we'll get another one again. You see, Sami is here, intermediate is here, fear not is here. You see, guys, so it's very simple and clear. All that I'm encouraging you is try to do more rehearsals. And when you check on my Discord, you could see today I posted more examples and assignments on what? The modules and packages. The same thing I'm going to do with this. I'll post more practice examples for you guys to do more practice. Okay? The inbuilt functions are so many. And I told you yesterday, you don't need to chew these in your mind. No. All you need is understand how we use these things, and then when you are working, you can reference these as your library. Okay, and also sometimes you're having an interview, you can tell them you want to reference a particular, and that is okay. It's normal. Me, for instance, my first job in Canada here, when I had my interview, they gave me a coding task, and that task was basically on some kind of data preparation, and based on the data preparation I need to train a model. And when I was working on the data preparation, I realized I need a particular thing to get my answer correct, and that thing is a library no one, even the one who is interviewing me, doesn't know. So I have to tell him, can I reference something online? And he was okay, and they'll be looking at you, you understand. And I click on Google, I search on what I'm searching, I came and use it. It's all about how you apply them, your mindset. You understand what you are doing and how you solve the problem. Okay? So don't worry, don't chew it. Understand the flow. That is why I am here to teach you how you can use these things. Okay, guys? So you are good to go. If you have any issue, go to my Discord, post it there. We will support you. Okay? All right. Now, let's look at should we go in more? Let's read some binary files as well. Now we have been reading TXT text. Let's do one or two examples for binary. Then we'll be done. Okay. Then tomorrow we will look at file paths. So file paths, we also understand how these file paths are. So that when we are done with file handling, you understand the operation and you understand the path. Okay. And when we get to data analysis, you guys can read and write these data sets for me easily. Okay, so let's look at another one, which is binary files. Okay, you understand way back in school we call something binary, zeros and ones. You guys understand? Computer understands zeros and ones, and binary digits. Okay, discrete. So let's look at binary files, and basically let's look at one aspect which we are going to write to a binary file. Okay, now what we are going to do is, let me do it this way so you guys see it clearly. So what we are going to do here is we are going to write to a binary. Okay, sorry, I bring two W's. So we are going to write to a binary. Now for binary, let's set some data, right? Let's say data. Okay, let's say data is assigned to binary digits. I need to type so many things differently. So let's say let's put it in this. and let's say slash, let's say x, let's say 00, let's say slash, let's say x, let's say 01. What else? Let's repeat these things. So let me repeat this. Okay, so I'll copy, I'll come here, paste, paste. Let's make it 4. So this one will be, okay, let me make it more. So this one will be 4, this one will be 3, this one will be 2. Okay, so I think 4 should be good. 00, 01, 02, 03, 04. So these are binaries. Okay, now let's look at how we can write this. Okay, let's look at how we can write this binary data. Okay, let's look at how we can write to a binary data. So all that we do here is we will say with open. We now know with open, so we are good to go, right? So with open, what do? We set our example. Okay, we can create a new file, but since we have that, I want you guys to see how it goes. So our example dot, now we give a new one. Then you see now the extension have changed. Previously we were using what? TXT, but now we are using .bin. Okay, and then now outside I bring my comma, and what will be, I want to see the one who will get this correct. What will be my next parameter? We all understand now that the open accepts 2 parameters to make an argument. Okay, now we want to make an argument in this open inbuilt function. What will be our next parameter here? Yes, in the comment section, what will be our next parameter? What will be our next parameter? We are writing to a binary file. So what will be our next parameter here? Oh, the W is correct, but I wanted you guys to add a B. We are writing to a binary file, so it will be WB. Okay, this WB like this. Okay, and all this, let's assign it to what? An object. So as file. Okay, we bring this. We say that now we can just read the data, right? So we can say file dot what? Write into bracket data. You see? So basically what we are doing here is that we are writing to a binary file, and this is the data we are writing to a binary file. This is the data. This is the data. Okay? And this data we are writing to this binary file called example.bin. Once I run this, I will see another file created here as what? Example.bin instead of the example.txt. Okay? So let's run this. See, we have example.bin, and we should see. So I can't open anyway. The file is not displayed in the text editor because it is either binary or used as unsupported. So I can still open anyway, text editor. So you see it here? You see? So this is the file. You see how it has been done? So I've read this as a binary because I'm not able to read it well. But the whole point is, this is how you can what? Write to a binary. So let's look at how we can read this. Okay? Let's look at how we can read this. Okay, so let's look at how we can read this. All right, so reading a binary file. Okay, so let's look at how we can read it. The same thing. So the same thing. So now tell me, what will be the second parameter? I'm going to change it here. So the same thing, but this one should change. So what will be the second parameter, guys? Let's see how smart everyone is. What will be the second parameter for the reading? Now we've written it. So what will be the second parameter when we want to read? When we want to read, what will be the second parameter? RB. Okay. So RB is correct. So now here we come here. So let's read it. So we are going to say file dot read. Okay, because we are reading, right? File dot read. But because we are reading the entire binary content, so I always tell you assign it to a variable. So we say content is equal to file dot read. Then we can what? Print, because we are going to read something, so we need to print. Then we can print the content. You see? So it's very simple as that. You see how the code is being written? It's very simple. You need to understand the flow. You need to understand the problem. You need to understand the requirements. Don't just jump and start writing the code. Understand the requirements, understand the problem, define it, understand how the flow is, and you start coding. Okay, that is why I usually comment for you guys to know what we are doing. We are reading a binary file, and with the help of our open inbuilt function, we can set it as what? A file which is an object for us, and this object we can use it here by reading it. And once we read it, we want to store the entire data in content. Here, there's also one of the variable names, which is we want to store it here. It could be a temporary variable, it could be a temporary object. Okay, then now we can then print whatever is in this object or variable. That's it. And once we run this, we can print it. You see, it's here, and this is it. But because when we come here, it will show like this because we cannot open bin files here on Windows and all that. Okay, we good, guys? We good? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some exercises on the Discord. Okay, the exercise will be this. I'll give you an exercise whereby you need to read the content, okay, from you need to read the content from source text, okay, from source text file, and write to a destination text file. Okay, so this is going to be the exercise. Okay, so now with this notebook, I am not going to do with anything. I'm just going to save like this. I'm going to save the entire thing we've done here, zip it, paste it inside what? Our Discord, and all you guys need to do is continue on the notebook for me and then send it back to me on Discord. It's as simple as that. Read the content from a source from what? A source text file, okay, and then write to a destination text file. You see, it's very simple, and I need answer from this. The next one is, so let me come here, hashtag, no, I shouldn't even put hash here. Let me make it a markdown, okay, here, exercise, okay, exercise. And then this exercise, I want you to read one. So one. I want you to do this two. Okay. So two. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to also read a text. Okay. Read a text. Read a text file. Let me see. I did some notes somewhere. Let me see. Okay, so read a text file, okay? Read a text file and count the number of lines, words, and characters. Okay? So this is going to be your one. Your two exercises. Okay, this is not assignment. This is because I already loaded some assignments on Discord for you. Take these assignments and exercises as if I couldn't get more time to do more practice with you. You guys get a logic? And I need you guys to also practice more. In programming, if you want to be good in programming, you practice more. You do more examples, you get different perspective of the solutions, and get different ideas of how you can go about solving problems. Okay, so this will be for our today's session. So I need you guys to make sure that you are able to do this exercise for me, okay, and re-upload only this notebook file operation.ipynd for me, okay. But I will give you the entire folder, but it will exclude the virtual environment because you already have your virtual environment on your end. If you just join us, everything is on YouTube. You can go and follow how you can create a virtual environment and all that. Okay. All right. All the training sessions too are recorded. You can watch them on YouTube as well. Okay. And you can also visit my website, darkolab.com. I'm still working on it. It's still under development. But if you want to connect with me, I have my social links there. Or you can check on my YouTube. My social links are also there. All right. If you need one-on-one sessions, you can connect with me. If you need to book an appointment to discuss something, I have all these there for you. You can book me an appointment or you can book one-on-one sessions with me. So these are what I do, and thank you guys for today's session. Please don't hesitate. If you have any question, kindly request and come up, and I'll be glad to assist you. Thank you for today's session. We'll meet tomorrow and we work on what? File path, and that will be the end of the file handling aspect. So tomorrow we are looking at, if you check my works here, you will see here. Now currently we have dealt with all this. You see, we have dealt with all this, and we are here file handling. You see, and inside this file handling, we are looking at file what? Operation. And tomorrow we will look at file path. You see, we are progressing, guys. You see, we started from the basics. You see where we are now, and very soon we'll come to exception handling, object-oriented programming, advanced Python concept. I'll teach you that, and then we'll look at data analysis with Python. You can see I have structured my folder, and inside the folder, I try to work on some notebooks, put it in so I can know how better I'm going to teach you guys. And we'll look at databases, logging in Python, Flag, Streamlit, memory management, multi-threading, and multiprocessing. You are at the right place, and this is the best AI bootcamp you can get. All you need is follow me. Currently, we are mastering what? Python. And all this folder you are seeing here is all about Python. And you'll be able to do data analysis with Python. You'll be able to work with databases and all that. So once we are done with mastering Python, then the main agenda, we move to what? Machine learning, the data science, everything is here. Okay? So we'll be good to go. Thank you so much. And then check the training sessions today on YouTube. I'll upload. Okay? So check it there. You can watch it again. And please, once I upload the resources on the Discord, try and do the assignments. Try and do the exercise for me. Thank you.